So, for those of y'all who ever wonder, why is Cjeths, or Nick, as I usually go by, why is he always wearing a hat? This is why. Because when I wake up this morning, that is what my hair looked like. And that is why I wear a hat during my videos. Because my hair is severely untamed and out of control. And it needs to get fixed. It needs to get cut. I'm well aware of this. It has been a while. You know what's crazy? I had a summer break that was 2.5 weeks long. And I opted to make a video now, 2 weeks into my fall semester. That's not commitment, then I don't know what is. I had this video set up yesterday. It's actually my second time recording. I did not like the way it came out the first time. So this video is going to be doing my 2022-2023 New York Rangers lines and scoring predictions. So basically I'll be giving you how I predict the lines starting out as, like, you know, game one, what I think the lines are going to look like, and assuming no injuries, assuming no changes to lineup, assuming no acquisitions, assuming literally nothing other than the roster we have now, and that the lines don't change from game one to game 82. Obviously, that's completely unrealistic, but it's kind of hard to do predictions around contingencies. So we're just going to pretend like whatever I deliver you as the day one lines will be the same lines at the end of the season. With that being said, the format, if you guys watched this video last year, is a little bit different, but you know, I'm not going to over-explain. Let's go take a look. So, first and foremost, forward line one. We'll just get right into it. So, my predictions for the first line going into the season is going to be Kreider, Zibanejad, and Vitaly Kravtsov. I know a lot of you are asking, why the hell not Alexis Lafreniere? I'm going to get to that later. But it does have something to do with Lafreniere being the guy on a line. And I'll get to it later. So, for Chris Kreider, I would love him to score 50-something goals again, but realistically, I got him down for 35 goals, 25 assists, 60 points. I do have a hot take under every single player. The only players I don't have a hot take for is the fourth line, because it's the fourth line. What could be a hot take for a fourth line? My hot take for Kreider is he leads the Rangers in power play goals. I don't even really know if that's a hot take, because I don't know if there's ever been a year where he hasn't led the Rangers in power play goals, but either way, that's my hot take. Mika Zibanejad, 31 goals, 48 assists for 79 points. And my hot take is this upcoming year, he finishes top 5 in Selke voting throughout the entire NHL. I think Zibanejad not only takes steps forward as an offensive player, even though it wouldn't have been his most offensive year with 79 points, but still, but he will actually be one of the better defensive centers in the NHL, and he showed that he's very much so. What's the word? Exponentially grown as a defensive player, and I think that's going to continue. And I think he's going to get very serious Selke consideration this season. Vitaly Kravtsov, 12 goals, 23 assists, 35 points, and I do believe he earned a spot on the power play. So another reason I have Vitaly Kravtsov on that top line, Zibanejad and Kreider are Zibanejad and Kreider, right? They are, you know, Kreider's is going to be the goal guy. Zibanejad, the offense is kind of going to run through Zibanejad. All they need is a complementary piece. They need a guy that's going to be able to control the puck down low and in the corners. Kravtsov, as we all seen, if you ever watch his KHL and AHL highlights, it's a lot of him just working the puck in the corners, kind of like Kako. Maybe not as strong as Kako, but a little bit more slippery. Just a guy that can make moves, carry the puck over the blue line. Probably not as good as Buchnevich when it comes to passing and shooting. But what he has that Buchnevich didn't have is Kravtsov is always wanting to make the move, fight the corners, and do all this other crazy shit. And I think that's why he'd be a good complementary piece on that top line. If not, there was a couple other players to consider for that, and we'll get to them as the video goes on. The second line, I got Panarin, Trocheck, and Kako. I don't really think this should come to a surprise to anybody as this line. It really seems this might be the most quote-unquote easy to predict line going into the season. Panarin, I got 26 goals, 72 assists for 98 points. I apologize. I did not get to sleep till about 2:30 in the morning last night. I had a very long night at work. Apologize. Hot take, leads the team in power play points. Again, I don't really know if that's a hot take. I don't really think it is. I mean, it's kind of a given. I just don't know how many other hot takes you can give for Artemi Panarin. Maybe a hot take would be he sets a new vertical for how high he kicks his leg after he scores a goal this season. But anyways, Vincent Trocheck, I got him down for 33 goals, 26 assists, 59 points. Not like a crazy, ridiculous offensive year. 33 goals is nothing to scoff at, but Trocheck has had 70-point years before. I just don't really see him clipping that much. My hot take for Trocheck is that he actually is going to lead the team in hits. I think Trocheck on a new team, he's going to have something to prove this year. I think he's going to be throwing bod this year. Capo Caco, 18 goals, 21 assists for 39 points. Him being the complimentary piece on this line, I don't really think he's going to be the go-to guy and really getting a lot. But I do think he's going to chip in a pretty good amount. And my hot take is that he's going to keep the second right wing spot. I don't think he's going to get moved up. I don't think he's going to get moved down. I think he's going to be Mr. Consistency this year, and we're going to see some growth out of him. The third line, I got Lafreniere, Hedl, and Sammy Blais. My prediction for Lafreniere is a bold one to begin with. I got him down for 25 goals, 38 assists, and 63 points. And my hot take for Alexis Lafreniere is going to win the Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award. Let that sink in for a second. Now, why is Lafreniere on the third line? So, as we saw in the playoffs last year, and throughout the entire season, Lafreniere can play on the first and second line. That is not the issue. But if you want Alexis Lafreniere at his absolute best, without question, he needs to be the guy on the line that he's on. If you put him with Kreider and Zibanejad, he is not the guy. The offense does not run through him. If you put him with Artemi Panarin, the offense does not run through Lafreniere, it runs through Panarin. If you put him with Hedl and Blais, Lafreniere is the guy on that line. The offense runs through Lafreniere. His entire success leading up to the NHL was being the guy everywhere he's been. Lafreniere is not a complimentary piece. When he was on the kid line, as good as Hedl and Caco played, Lafreniere was the guy. The offense ran through him. And that's why I think he's perfect to be on the third line. And the negative connotation behind the third line is it should be lost here, because this is not a third line that you throw out there and like, oh yeah, this is just the third line. No. This is a third line where you're playing against Alexis Lafreniere, Filip Chytil, who we saw just go crazy in the playoffs, and Sammy Blais, who, despite missing a season injury, showed flashes prior to that he has serious upside, offensive upside. The goal that he scored in the preseason, the goal he set up in Nashville. I don't know if y'all remember that. It was right before he got hurt. He set up a beautiful goal in Nashville. Let's go look it up. Let's go look it up while we have a moment. Sammy Blais. We're just going to click on this really quick, and we're just going to skip through it. Come on, Cletus. That's not what we wanted to say. I believe it's this play right here. He's going to dish it. No, that's Hedl's goal, which is absurd. Here it is, right here. Okay, yeah, it was the goal. Like, look at that freaking pass, dude. I'm telling you right now, people want to shit on Sammy Blais. Oh, he's a fourth line grinder. He'll never amount to nothing. Dude, the kid's got ridiculous hands. He's got sense for where other players are on the ice. I think Sammy Blais, to tell you the truth, I think 16 goals, 10 assists, 26 points. I actually think that's more of a conservative take. I do think he can blow past that, especially in the assist category. I actually wouldn't be surprised if his goals and assists were switched and you tack on 5 or 6 more assists, especially if Lafreniere brings the best out of him. Sammy Blais, I actually do believe has top 6 upside. I don't think he's going to ever get to explore that with the Rangers, because the Rangers are just so deep on offense with their prospects and the roster they have now. But I don't know. We'll see. My hot take for Blais, he stays on top 9. I totally passed over Filip Chytil, 19 goals, 22 assists for 41 points. And my hot take for him is that he's going to be a net positive in faceoffs this year, which is saying a lot, because I actually don't think he's ever had a season above 45% in the faceoff dot. But I think Hedl takes a huge jump this year. And if his play in this regular season is even like an 80% resemblance of what he did in the playoffs, especially against the Penguins, then we are in for a damn treat with Filip Chytil this season. Fourth line, I got Gaudreau with 14 goals, 17 assists for 31 points. Ryan Carpenter, I have taken the 4C spot if the Rangers do not re-sign Tyler Mott, which it doesn't seem like they will. 7-7-14. And Revo, I got 3, 5, and 8. I'm not sure if this is allowed in the CBA, but the only way I envision the Rangers being able to bring back Tyler Mott is if they trade Ryan Reeves and then immediately reacquire him with 50% of his salary being retained by the acquiree. So I don't see how it's possible to bring back Tyler Mott. He will not sign for less than $1 million, and that is absolutely his prerogative and his right to not do so. He can and will get more money elsewhere. Though I do wish the Rangers would find a way to bring him in, because Tyler Mott is fucking a good hockey player. So yeah, I'd be pretty damn happy. I'd be pretty stoked actually if they found a way to to bring back Mott and have him patrol this fourth line 82 games in the regular season. That's my say. Moving on to defense. Pretty bold on Adam Fox. And yes, I know I have him flip-flopping. Who gives a shit? Foxy, I got 17 goals, 82 assists for 99 points. I got him finishing not top 3 in Norris, but top 3 in Hart voting. I think Adam Fox is going to take personally last year that he did not get any Norris consideration, despite being the favorite for the first 75% of the regular season. I think that's more speaking to how well the other defensemen in the league played for the final half of the season. That Foxy kind of slowed down, but if you remember the Norris polling that came out for the first, because they do 4 every year, they do 4 polls throughout the year and the 5th one is the final. Fox, I believe, was in first place for the first 2, was in second for the third, and then was not even in top 5 in the final polling. I think he's going to take that personally. I think he played pretty damn well in the playoffs, and I think that I say he's going to break out. I say he's going to break out even further than what he had last year, because it's a lot of voting in the NHL has to do with recency bias. It's not what you did for me earlier in the season, it's what have you done for me lately. And unfortunately, the way the NHL goes, it is a lot of recent memory, not long-term season memory. So I do believe if Adam Fox finishes the season ridiculously strong, that he's going to receive serious Hart voting, the same way Shesterkin did. We started off the season great, kind of had a bit of a hiccup towards the end, and then, turned it up again at the actual end. But leading up to the end, he kind of hiccuped while Matthews took off. There's always going to be a bias towards forwards getting Hart consideration over defensemen and goaltenders, so it just wasn't meant to be for Shesterkin. But I do believe Hart trophy consideration is going to go to Adam Fox next year, especially if he can find his way, maybe even into triple digits in points. But that is just knock on wood territory. Ryan Lindgren, I got 6 goals, 23 assists for 29 points. That is a Girardi-type breakout season offensively. Just kidding. My hot take is his plus-minus is over 30. Plus-minus really is not a great measure of an individual's performance, but we're going to use it here because it's just fun. Oh, hi, Canelo. You want to be in the video? Come here. Come here. Give me your hot take. Ready? Come here. Come here, Bob. Ready? 1, 2, 3, oofa. Okay, what do you think? What do you think Keandre Miller is going to do this year, puppy? Do you think 15 goals, 29 assists, and 44 points is reasonable? You like that one? I think so. My hot take for Keandre Miller, if the points, goals, and assists wasn't enough, is I do believe that Keandre Miller is going to receive Norris votes. Now, that could mean anything. Yeah, that could mean he finishes top 25. Go ahead, move out. Yeah, go get Grace. Go say good morning to Grace. Go ahead. I believe he will receive just Norris consideration. I do believe he received like a 5th place vote last year or something like that. And when I say he's going to receive Norris votes, I mean votes plural. I mean, I believe he's going to get a couple top 3 votes and a bunch of 4th and 5th place votes. Especially if he replicates what he did in the playoffs. I actually think Keandre Miller was one of our best players in the playoffs this year. So yeah, I would not be surprised if he received relative Norris consideration. Jacob Trouba, 9 goals, 22 assists for 31 points. He's not a 50-point defenseman anymore. He's not the guy we picked up from Winnipeg. But slapping the C on his chest, I actually believe that Trouba's going to have a better year in terms of not taking as many stupid-ass penalties. I have Jacob Trouba finishing with less than 50 penalty minutes, a feat he's only accomplished 3 times in his career. And all 3 times he's accomplished it, he's played less than 65 games. So he wasn't really given a chance to. And they were, I think it was 43, 45, and 48 PIMs, respectively, those seasons. So I think Trouba wearing the C, he's going to maybe not make as many boneheaded mistakes, lazy mistakes, that a non-leader would make. And I think he's going to cut down on his penalties and stop putting the Rangers on the kill. I think it's more of a hope than a hot take, but we're going to go with it. Defensive pairing 3. Bless you. Defensive pairing 3, I got Zachary Jones and Braden Schneider. That's not a hot take enough. Get into these numbers. 4 goals, 25 assists for 29 points for Zach Jones, and I believe he earns power play time, meaning that he will actually hold a spot on the power play. I think he's going to take Trouba's spot on the second power play unit, and he's going to keep it. Braden Schneider, 7 goals, 19 assists for 26 points, and I think he's going to receive Calder votes. I don't think he's going to finish top 5, but I think he's going to finish top 10 in Calder voting. And that's gonna depend on an awful lot, because I do believe Braden Schneider has the ability / capability of completely usurping 26 points and getting even further than that. But to be more on the conservative side, I think 26 points is fair, and I think that could end up being too much, depending on how Gerard Gallant deploys to third pair. But I do believe it's going to be Jones and Schneider. The Rangers not going out and getting a veteran 6th or 7th defenseman really leads me to believe that they think that Jones is going to be the guy in the third pair, which is not a bad idea, especially considering we still have Tenorti, Hayek, and a few other Robertson, and there's a few other guys that they can consider playing on that third pair. I do believe the 6th defenseman on the Rangers this year is going to be more of a platoon type. We still have Nils Lundqvist waiting in the wings. For all we know, he could earn a spot as the 6th defenseman and just play on his offside. We really don't know. It's tough to predict, but as of right now, to me, it looks like it's going to be Zachary Jones' spot to lose. Finally, in net, I got Igor Shesterkin with a save percentage of .931, 7 shutouts, and a hot take. He wins the Vezina again. With numbers like that, it really shouldn't be a surprise if he wins the Vezina, but that is, again, just my prediction. If he doesn't hit that, well, he might have to fight somebody for it. Yaroslav Halak, I got a .914 save, 2 shutouts, and my hot take for Yaroslav Halak is that he does not lose a game at Madison Square Garden. He remains undefeated at home. I don't think Halak, I might be forgetting, I might be misremembering the numbers, but I don't believe he's ever lost a game at Madison Square Garden. So if that is the case, wood, I hope that remains, and I hope he doesn't lose any games on Madison Square Garden ice this season, especially if he's wearing a Rangers jersey. God only knows what will happen. Just don't trade him, please. Everyone wanted Halak. Halak was an under-the-radar guy for me. I really did not think the Rangers were going to go after him. I thought they were going to make a more economical choice, but I love the signing. Anyways, regardless, I'm rambling. But those are my predictions. You guys comment below on my thoughts and predictions, and you let me know what you think. Did I overpredict? Did I underpredict? Did I... No, you guys just tell me. You give me your line predictions, you give me your point predictions, just the other thing. Just comment down below. Happy Saturday. Let's go Rangers. The regular season starts in less than a month and a half's time. I believe training camp starts in a couple of weeks here, so I'm freaking excited. I am really excited. It's the most wonderful time of the year coming up. Anyways, y'all comment down below your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one.